Hey you guys, so for today's video, I wanted to do a really kind of like quick day look sort of makeup. I always see tutorials that are like 10-minute makeup, 5-minute makeup, whatever. And I always find myself wondering like, did it actually take you 10 minutes? So what I'm gonna do, I'm scared already. So what I'm gonna do is start a timer on my phone and then we're gonna see how quickly I can do my makeup. This could go one way or the other. I'm hoping that it's particularly speedy because there's just something that isn't awfully catchy about 33-minute makeup tutorial. Okay, I'm panicking already. I'm gonna zoom you guys in a little bit and I'm going to, oh, my phone's really dirty. I'm gonna start my little clock, boop. Okay, I'm gonna take my Too Faced Born This Way concealer and I'm gonna use that to prime my eyes. I'm gonna take a little brush and buff that out. Just going all the way across. I do actually do my makeup quite quick. Like if I have somewhere to be, I can get pretty glam pretty quickly. Does that look good? Don't have time to check. Oh God, I'm already at 30 seconds. Okay, I'm gonna take a eyeshadow, my skin color, and I'm going to set that. And then I wanted to do kind of like a daytime sort of smoky eye. So I'm gonna take this Nude Sticks Luminous Eye Color in the color Burnish, and I'm going to get my brush so that I don't screw this up. I'm going to start swiping that across my lid. Just kind of going up to my crease there. General shape. And then I'm gonna take a Sonia Kashuk 116 brush and I'm just going to basically buff over that. These are nice because they're actually quite creamy, so they blend out really like easily, but they set nicely, and then they're kind of on there once they're set. You could even blend this out with your fingers if you are a really crazy person. My hands are shaking because I'm so nervous. Because I'm trying to be a speed monster. Okay. I'm going to take a big fluffy brush and I'm going to grab the Greek Goddess palette from Lunar Beauty, and I'm going to grab this color right here. It's called Persephone, and I'm just going to tap that onto a big brush, kind of tap off the excess, and then blend that into my crease just to make sure we're looking nice and blended for the most part. This is where things like setting your eyeshadow I feel like is really helpful when I'm just trying to get going quickly, because I think that you can create really beautiful looks with not setting your eyeshadow, but your primer, I mean, but you know, it's really difficult to, I just feel like it's so much harder to blend out. Anyways, okay. I'm gonna take this brush from Real Techniques. It's called the Instapop Crease Brush, and I'm going to dip it into that darker brown color, kind of back and forth between these two. And I'm taking that like right on the tip of that brush, tapping off the excess, and then I'm just going to kind of just stamp that along my upper lash line, just to create a little bit more depth on that outer corner. Okay, and that's as good as we're gonna get. Now I'm gonna curl my eyelashes. We're already at 4 minutes. Oh my God. I know that brows are gonna take a little bit. Gonna grab some mascara. We'll pop on lashes last if we feel like we have some leftover time. And then I'm just taking like a kind of dry mascara brush to brush through that so that I don't have clumps. Oh shit, I got a little on my inner corner there, so we're just gonna let that dry and we'll come back to it later. It's almost blended. Now I'm gonna take my concealer. I'm using the shade Light Medium from Elsie. This is their Complete Ready Silk Concealer. Ooh, that looks a little light, that's okay. Gonna take my Beauty Blender and just pat that into my eyeball skin. Sometimes I like to just kind of take the leftover of that concealer and just kind of go across my nose because I often need a little bit more kind of coverage right there. I would love to do some really nice, beautiful spot concealing, but I'm just going to kind of quickly get the idea of it. And just use the small end of my Beauty Blender to just kind of press that in. The big thing here is like if you're trying to get coverage and you're doing it just really quickly, you just want to make sure that you're pressing into the skin rather than swiping, because swiping is just going to move that coverage around and then you're going to be spending a ton of time kind of sitting there and trying to build up more and more and more. Okay, now I'm going to mix my foundation. Why am I the way that I am? This alone is what's going to take my time up. I'm going to take a little bit of blush, pop it on the apples of my cheek. You can either use your fingers or you can use a Beauty Blender to just kind of buff that out. We're looking at 7 minutes here, guys. Okay, and then I'm gonna dip into my foundation and I'm just going to pop that over everywhere. And then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna explain this while I'm still kind of buffing this out. I'm gonna take a darker foundation. So this is the Shiseido one. And I'm going to grab that on the big end of my Beauty Blender. And I'm going to just really lightly contour with that. So it's not gonna be a huge difference. You're not going to see, you know, like this really, really intense contour like you would with using like a bronzer or contour shade, but it's kind of just nice to add a little bit of a dimension to the face, especially if you like to do more kind of chill day looks. I think that this is just a really quick and easy way to just add a tiny, tiny bit of dimension to the face without going too crazy. So see how that creates kind of a nice little shadow there? It's not anything insane. It's not something that you're gonna have to spend a ton of time blending out. You can kind of just quickly pop it on. I'm gonna take my powder, I'm gonna set that right underneath the eyes. I feel like we're freaking whipping through that. I'm gonna pop on my beauty mark. Obviously that isn't necessary, but for me it is. Oh, I just threw that brush away. So for my brows, I'm gonna take my soap, I'm gonna take my spoolie, I'm going to wet the soap. I think this is gonna be a 15-minute tutorial. I'm going to get all my soap loaded up in my spoolie there and then kind of roll it off on the back of my hand just to make sure that we don't have any chunks of soap. And then I'm gonna just brush through my brows. The soap is kind of nice because it's clear. So if you're in a rush and you're just kind of quickly whipping it on, it's not gonna be like a tinted brow gel where, you know, you'll see the excess makeup on your face. I'm gonna take a little tiny brush, I'm gonna grab my brow powder. I'm using the Anastasia Brow Duo in dark brown. I'm using the lighter shade. And I'm going to go through and just do some little hair strokes. This is the part where I'm just naturally gonna slow down because I need to take my time with my sweet, sweet brows. But I do feel like when you do that soap technique, it kind of helps to make your brows look a little fuller than they are anyways. And it sort of like creates that shape for you. So it's really easy to just go through and pop in some powder. Okay, and then I'm gonna take my spoolie end of my brush and I'm just going to brush through that, make sure we don't have any really harsh lines. Whew, I'm panicking. Okay, those don't match at all, so we're just gonna take a little bit longer on that. Okay. Ooh, we're at 11:40. We got nothing but time. Okay, I'm gonna take my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter for a Superstar Youth Glow. That was fully worth saying the entire name. I'm going to dot a couple little dots on. Whoop. Gonna take my small end of my Beauty Blender and I'm just going to press that into the skin. Just get a little highlight going. We're gonna pick up our little palette again. I'm gonna grab that light shade. Just take a tiny little bit of that underneath my eyes. I don't really wanna go too dark. And instead of blending that, I'm literally just gonna go like that with my fingers. Nice, good to go. Taking my dried out mascara, I'm going to pop that on my bottom lashes. I'm gonna do a little bit of setting spray. By a little, I mean a lot. I'm gonna pop on a quick lip. This is the YSL Balm. It's something, I don't have time to look, guys. I'm gonna pop that on. It's a really nice kind of like pinky nude color. It's their universal shade. And then I'm gonna put on lashes because you got some time. I just would like you to know we are at 13 minutes and 30 seconds. I just take a small amount of glue on my eyelashes. I know some people like to really load up the glue, but then it takes so long to dry. And when I've only got 15 minutes to do my makeup because I'm trying to look impressive on YouTube, I just gotta go for a smaller amount. Okay, oh my God, I'm actually gonna be able to finish this in under 15 minutes. I might glue my eyes shut, but I think it will be worth it. Obviously lashes aren't necessary, but again, for me they are. My lashes are barely on, but we're at 14 minutes and 53 seconds. And now I'm gonna go through and chill for a second and I'm gonna fix up what I need to. These lashes are barely hanging on by a thread. That's probably the first thing we need to address here. I think lashes for me are just something that makes me feel like really kind of put together. So I'm just gonna go through and squish those with my real lashes. I feel like actually this turned out okay. What was the other thing I was gonna do? Oh yeah, blend my foundation. I feel like we whipped through that pretty okay. I'm gonna zoom you guys out and we can chit chat about our feelings. So this is kind of the makeup I do if I wanna feel and look like I really like put some effort into my makeup. I love using like little eye pencils like that because I think it's just so easy and quick to just kind of buff on and blend out. And if you wanted to go even lighter than this and not make it more smoky, you could easily just blend that out and leave. Like, do a transition shade if you need to, but we didn't need to go in and darken that lash line. I just think it's kind of nice to quickly pop on that darker shadow over top so that you do have a little bit more dimension to the eye. But as far as skin goes, I just feel like it's so simple and it's so easy to quickly do your skin if you're wearing a more kind of sheer coverage foundation. I know there's always an emphasis on having your makeup look like perfect, especially through Instagram and YouTube, but I just feel like that's not real, man. And when you have a sheer coverage foundation, it's not going to be as noticeable if it's not perfectly seamlessly blended down your neck, or if you kind of missed a little spot while you were blending quickly or whatever. And I really love doing that kind of darker foundation trick because it actually gives you a reason to use up foundations if you have extra colors kicking around. For myself, when I didn't have the big collection that I have now, I used to kind of have a darker foundation in the summer because obviously I was getting tanned and stuff. But then during the winter, that foundation would literally just sit there and basically go bad. So it's sort of nice if you do have a shade that maybe you ordered online, it's too dark, it's your summer foundation, whatever kind of thing. It's nice to just quickly pop that in instead of doing like a traditional contour. It looks a lot softer, obviously, so it is kind of a different look if you're used to a really intense contour. But if you're somebody that doesn't want to spend that time sitting there and like blending out your contour and making sure it doesn't look muddy or too intense or whatever. And the other thing as well is that if you're somebody that struggles to really find a good contour shade, like everything looks way too orange or red or like way too dull and like gray, that's where foundation can be really, really helpful because it's not going to be something that's so intense like a true contour would be. And you can end up finding shades that are a little bit more kind of like natural looking on your skin if everything just seems to pull too intensely in one direction. And it's just fast. If you ever have problems as well with layering your foundation with your contour bronzer products, if you're using a foundation over top of a foundation, you're going to kind of, you know, avoid those sorts of problems. Then we did our little soap brows. These are so quick and easy once you get the hang of them. They're so like weird at first. It's so odd to just put soap in your face. But I really do feel like I'm able to sort of get that structure to my brow before I start going in with product. So I end up using less product and I end up being able to do my brows a lot quicker than if I am, you know, just kind of going straight in with a product. And it is a little bit lighter looking than using a tinted brow gel. You guys know I love tinted brow gels, and if I'm just kind of going for like a no makeup, I will just put a tinted brow gel through and call it a day. But if I'm planning on adding a little bit more product, it is kind of nice to do the soap brow stitch and just kind of fucking, you know, go for it. And then just a good sheer lip, man. Whoever had a problem with it, you know? Riddle me that. What did a sheer lip ever do to you? I've been saying this for the past few months, but my thing is that I don't want to have to spend a ton of time in my makeup. If I'm like playing with makeup and having fun, sure, but if I'm getting ready to like go about my day, run errands, blah, 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 I don't want to spend a ton of time on my makeup. I don't want to have my whole day taken up by doing, you know, fucking eyeshadow. And also I find that the heavier and the more intense and the more matte and whatever that your makeup is, it might wear a little bit longer, but I find that when it does wear off, because it will wear off, it looks so much worse than something that's just kind of quick and easy to reapply. So for instance, wearing like a matte liquid lipstick and stuff, yes, it's beautiful. It might last a little bit longer than like a sheer lip like this would, but when it does come off, it's so noticeable. The texture is really obvious. It's a lot harder to quickly take off. It takes a lot longer to reapply when you do need to. Whereas with this, when my sheer lip kind of fades, I look in the mirror and I'm like, cool, my normal lip's great. And I quickly put my sheer lipstick over top. And same thing even with foundation. Like I know that a lot of people really love the full coverage look and stuff. For me, I just notice that anytime my makeup is breaking up, or maybe, you know, I sat like this and was thinking about my future, I'll have like a handprint in my face. Whereas like when this stuff wipes off, like it's just sort of, it's whatevs, man. So you guys, that is my 15-minute makeup, and that's for real, for reals. I love it. If I'm gonna do like a 5-minute makeup, then I'll just fucking slap on foundation, a little bit of concealer, a little bit of brow gel, call it a day. But you know, if I'm trying to look like maybe I'm gonna go on like a date later or something, I'm engaged, so I'm probably not gonna do that, then you know, pop some lashes on, a little something, something. Okay, I've really like just tried to draw this out more than I needed to, so cool, bye. Thanks so much for hanging out and chatting, guys. I will see you next time. Peace out.